I don't think
Check.
anyone thought I'm going to have kids.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm just like you. I'm like, no kids, working, traveling,
Wow.
hustling. And then when I, came pregnant, everyone was like, wait, what, you have a
Yeah.
kid?
What happened?
Yeah, what
But I do believe, like, I have so much faith in God that if it's meant to be for me, God will make it happen for me. You know? So
I
I would,
agree.
if it happened, I wouldn't be like, oh,
Right.
I'd just be like, this is what he wanted.
Right.
So I get it. I feel like you and I are so similar in that sense.
Oh my God, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
I was like, and the crazy thing is like, are we guys good? Are we?
Yeah, because we're just going to keep talking.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. You got to stop us. Is this just coconut water? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is perfect. No, I'm good. Thank you, though. I think I've already had like 2 today, so.
So, Nimi, I am so excited to have you here.
Yay.
Because I was talking to Dia, who is the producer of this podcast, and she asked me, she was like, we always have a conversation like, why do you want certain guests, right? And I met a lot of like coaches. I met a lot of life coaches. I watch a lot of like entrepreneurial stuff. My people that I like are more like David Goggins. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Like, that's my type of people. Like people who are like Mike Tyson, very raw and people, but also people that when I look online and I see and hear them speak, I feel like it comes from their heart. And when I was watching your videos and I was watching your podcast, I did, some research on you, I was like, you know what? I told Dia, I was like, she is someone that I am listening to when she says something. Because I can tell and see she had the experience, she went through the journey, and it doesn't feel like you're selling something. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm listening to one of my girlfriends. And I don't know if you think the same, but it's very rare nowadays to find people like that. Because a lot of people, when they call themselves like life coach or whatever they want to call themselves, it's like, you ask them, okay, but what is your background? Like, what qualifies you to become that person? And it's like, there's never really a reason where I'm like, oh, okay, so you went through that, so now I can follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I told you, I was like, with Nimi, I don't feel that. Like, you there's one video you did where you're like, guys, like, support your friends, not just behind the scene, but like be there, tag them, show up for them. As an entrepreneur myself, who has my own beauty brand, I faced that from the beginning. I, had a lot of people, a lot of my friends are like, oh my God, that's amazing. But they never purchased. They never really posted about it. Until it became like when celebrities started talking about it and it, we were in the retailers, then people started to like, supporting. So one thing that I love about your story is that you studied journalism, right?
Yes, yeah.
But you went to MTV, right? So I want you to tell me a little about that. But then what I really like a lot, that was the one where like literally catch me, where you said after it didn't work out with MTV, you went to Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And you said, and guys, that's like so important. You said, I will take any job at Nickelodeon because you never know what can come out of this.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, I don't care what kind of job it is. I want that. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
And you tell me that mindset real quick. Like, I freaking love that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for your kind words, because that honestly, it means so much to me, because that is not something that I intentionally set out to do. Like, this is a game plan or a strategy that I'm just going to be really authentic and real and hopefully people will like me. It's just genuinely.
Right.
I feel like as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, as someone that wants people to look at them in a certain way, that you have a responsibility with that as well. And people are going to watch you, either imitate you, take inspiration from you, whatever it is, in a really positive way, and you've got to lead by example. So I'm so glad that that translates, and that
It
you
does.
felt that. Thank you so much. You've done your research. I'll tell you that. You're really good at what you do. Yeah, that MTV thing was wild. I came out of university, and MTV had a competition, be the face of the new MTV UK, and you know MTV is iconic. It's iconic, and you think, if I can do this, I've made it. I'm good for life.
Right.
And I got it, and it was the best year ever. Like doing red carpets, just doing the coolest stuff. London Fashion Week. I'm
Right.
23 years old, and I just think that I've hit the jackpot. And then, yeah, I lost it all. And
Wow.
the reason I share this story is because that is quite literally the reality of life. You can feel like you're at the top of the mountain, and the next thing you know, you're at the bottom looking up thinking, how the hell was that real?
Right.
Was that a dream, or did it really happen? And so I believe in the power of proximity, and being close to something you truly desire meant everything to me. And so I had to be under that same roof. So MTV, Nickelodeon, all under the same roof under Viacom. And I thought, you know what, if I'm under the roof, I'm going to hear whispers. I'm going to hear that they're looking for a presenter here, or this is going to happen. So at least I'll be in-house. I'll be close to the source,
Right.
and I'll be able to find my next gig. So I took a job at Nickelodeon, which was, like scheduling adverts.
Yes.
I was like, how did I go from being in the front of the camera as the MTV presenter to now behind a computer every day, just doing this? And listen, it's a great job, and it was a great team, but it just wasn't for me. But I just knew in that mindset that, like, if I'm close enough, something's going to happen to me. It's that will and that drive to still, you don't have to necessarily be close to that job or that source
Right.
in terms of what you're doing as an act. But like, if I'm close in proximity, hopefully the universe will make something work for me. And I think that that's what people need to think about, is that just because you're not getting that job, just because you're not getting that relationship, just because you're not getting, the thing that you desire the most, doesn't mean that it's not coming.
Right.
It's just that what are the steps that you're taking to get closer to it?
Right. But you see, that's the thing what I wanted to talk about, that mindset. Look, the podcast, why I'm doing this, it's not just entrepreneurship. It's mostly about mindset, right? Because I think if people don't understand what kind of mindset you need to have in order to achieve your dreams,
Yeah.
you're going to be lost. Because in the entrepreneurial world, we always glamorize everything. And you said two things. Because if I would be 23, 24, and I would be in front of the camera, right? And I think like, yes, I made it. I'm great, amazing. But then it's taking away from you, and now you're behind the camera. What happened with your ego in that moment, and how were you? Because, and I'm really serious, like that is so a powerful move what you made, because I know in that moment made you so much stronger. But how were you able to shift that mindset from I was in front of the camera, now I'm behind in the office?
Yeah, it's funny you say ego, because it quite literally, my ego was shattered and annihilated. I mean, it's that thinking that you're on top of the world and then realizing you're not even close is really humbling. But at the same time, I think what really, really helped me is that I'm an ex-athlete. So I'm an ex-professional tennis player. And so failure was all I knew. As in, you lose more matches than you win in your career.
Right.
And so the resilience that was required for me to lose, win, lose. Like, I had to keep knowing that I had to get back up and keep going again. So that mindset really translated into my professional career as a TV broadcaster and now as an entrepreneur, is that failure really is just part of the game. Did I know that at the time at 23? No, of course. I'm young, I'm naive, and my ego just felt completely like shit on the floor,
Right.
And so you're doing a lot of ego death work, because your ego dies.
I love what you just said. I
Yeah.
always say this. Can you
Yeah.
say that again?
Yeah, ego death. And it's a concept where your ego quite literally dies, goes through the cycle of rebuilding itself up, but being reborn in a completely different way, because how can you possibly be put back together in the same way that you were broken? And so I did a lot of that work, a lot of that rebuilding. I still do it to this day. It happens in different scales, though. That would have happened on a really massive scale, because that is like character kind of breaking.
Right.
But every day, little things happen to us as human beings, right? Personally and professionally, which contributes or takes away from our ego. And it taught me that I can't really tie my whole identity and my worth to my identity as a professional.
Right.
Who I am personally doesn't have a deep reflection on who I am professionally. And all of us get really tied up into that. So if we don't get the pay rise, if we don't get the job that we want, if we've gone on multiple interviews and don't have solid, conversations with our managers and they're giving us negative feedback, we instantly tie that back to our self-worth. We're like, that means I'm rubbish. That means I'm no good. That means I can't do it. But the truth is, everything that has took you to where you are today has shown that you can. Like, you've just been an incredibly resilient person day in, day out. Unfortunately, as humans, we just don't give ourselves the credit that we should.
But that's another thing that I actually admire as well, is that you're so cool and able to talk about, losing, 1 year MTV, not being able to go back to MTV, not having a job for, I don't know, a few years or so. And then doing what you did on Nickelodeon, and like really be able to own it and talk about it. I feel like, especially as women, we don't like to do that. We don't like to talk about failures. We like to talk about the wins. That's why I resonated with your story or who you are so much, because I was like, she's one of the few who actually really talks about the struggle and makes the struggle kind of shine, because the struggle is what made you as well who you are today. So how did you feel though about being like, what, I mean, now you're an incredible entrepreneur, we'll get into that, but you're like a TV presenter, you are you were on the radio, you did so many amazing things, but why did you decide that, I'm going to start talking about the real thing, like about the real struggles and me losing my job and not having a job for a few years? Why did you do that?
When I was on the radio, I was doing it for 5 years, and I was waking up at 4 a.m. every single morning, starting a breakfast show. It really is a lifestyle choice because you have no life whatsoever. But it came to the end of 5 years, and I switched to legacy mode. And I switched to, if I was to leave this earth, what are people gonna have left of me? It's like that footprint, on earth. What are people going to remember? And as it stood, they would have remembered, this really fun girl on radio who likes to have a laugh and spreads good energy, which is great.
Right.
I just knew I deserved more than that, and I had more to give. And so when I switched to legacy mode, what I really went into was purpose. And now, the word purpose, I feel like, has become such a buzzword that people use, and we're constantly striving towards our purpose. What is it? Identifying it and then implementing it into our life and then monetizing our purpose. It's such a process that now is just spoken about all over the place. But for me, purpose really meant, what can I help people with? And what truly happened in my story that is real and relatable to normal people just like me. And so I went back and I thought about it, and I was like, I used to quite literally be a mute when I was a little girl. And fast forward all these years later, I'm hosting the biggest stages. I'm hosting international TV and radio shows. There's something there. And as talented as I genuinely think I am, and I say this from confidence, not arrogance, is that I just felt like any woman can do this. This blueprint that I've created isn't unique to me. I genuinely feel like anybody can do this if they implement the right mindset and the right actions and the right tools and techniques that I've implemented over the years. So when I looked back at that, that's what made me realize, well, hang on, I've only been born from the weaknesses that I had. And when we talk about failure, we look at it as a weakness, right? We've been told our whole lives, specifically as women, don't show you're weak. If you show you're weak, they've got all the ammunition to go for you.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of reverse that, because I feel like we're seeing a lot of strong, independent, you don't need nobody to make it happen kind of energy. And I love that.
Right.
But I think the reality is there's another side to it, which is, yeah, cool. I don't need anyone else to be where I want to be. I'm going to look after myself. I'm going to be independent. But at the same time, it's really, really hard. It's really, really stressful.
Yes.
It's mentally exhausting. And yeah, some days I do not feel my best. Some days I don't look like this every day. Sometimes I look like absolute rubbish. And that is just the reality. All of us can relate to that. And so I thought, I'm not going to pretend like everything's okay, because it's not. And also, I just don't think I can't
Love
show up
that.
like that. I just can't show up like that. I feel like if you are trying to be something you're not, you won't be able to sustain it for long.
You are so right. And that goes back to, I'm still, like trying to figure out, like there's a lot of like branding coaches, right? It's like you need to have your own brand and all that stuff. And I was like, I have so many friends who, that's their job, where they come in and help, figure out what your brand is all about, you as a person.
Yeah.
And just the other day I was thinking about it. I was like, I always had a hard time with like figuring out like, okay, what is the branding? Like, why do I need the branding? And I understand like when we show up online that there's a persona that we have to show to protect ourselves as well.
Yeah.
But I started to think about, I was like, let me look at all the videos that I've done that are actually performing really well, that people resonate. Is I didn't have a branding. My branding is being myself.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like because we're living in a world where you're like, you have to be this person, you have to be that person. As a woman, you have to be this. As an entrepreneur, you have to be that. But none of us are really able to like sit down for a second and be like, who are we? Like, what are we all about? And what is this? And it's so interesting because you're a confident coach, right? And I freaking love that. So I was always like confident when, like I was always a tomboy and I always speak up and like I'm always in your face.
Yeah.
Which didn't help me all the time, but I was like, that person. Yeah. But I was never really the people pleaser. My husband is more a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I am not that, but because of how I grew up as a refugee kid and, wanted to have a lot of friends, and I didn't anyone to know like that I am different. I wanted to be around a lot of people, but now, which is so crazy, and I want to talk to you about that and what you think, now that I am pregnant, my first baby, it completely is changing everything about me. Like I thought that before having a kid, like I'm a gangster. I'm like, now I am. Like now I know I could kill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it comes to my baby, like I'm like, no. We're going all the way being a gangster.
Yeah.
But I started to realize because of my pregnancy, I don't care anymore what people think about me, but not when it comes about my body.
Yeah.
Because I always had a problem with, because I'm always like most of the time I'm a size small and now I'm a large.
Yeah.
And it really affects me as a person. Why do you think that is? And how, because I know a lot of women struggle with that.
Yeah.
How and why are we doing that to ourselves?
Yeah. Well, you have to think about how we've been conditioned our whole lives, everything that we've consumed. And I talk about kind of what I call the voice layer theory. So when we are born, the second you're born, you're kind of like this clean, plain canvas, right? But who are the first influences on your life? Your parents, your mum, dad, or those that are your caregivers, those that are raising you, the elders around you. So the way I think about it is you're born with this blank canvas. The layer on top is your parents and those around you.
Thank you.
That could be their opinion, their thoughts, their desires, their influences just pushed onto you, right? Then you go through life, you get older, you go to school, you got professors, you got peers, you got, other people now entering your circle, their opinions, what they think about life, their certain, nuances around things come and impress you or influence you. That's another layer on top of this blank canvas. So it's starting to build your voice, right? And what you think about yourself. The next layer now you go into the workspace, managers, friends, social circles. We're talking about now TV, radio, media, the things that we consume, how much they're affecting us and in our mind and what we think of our self-worth and our self-belief. And of course, social media now, at the click of a button, you've got millions of voices telling you what you should think, what you should feel, what your opinion should be. Now, as you go through life, all of these layers are layered on top of this voice that you were born with that was so young and impressionable. What happens over time is that your true voice, what you truly feel, what you truly think, what your real opinion is completely muted and diluted over the years. So when we get to a certain age and we look back and we're like, did I actually think that? Or was that my mum that thought that?
Right.
Did I behave that way because I truly wanted to behave that way? Or is that because that friend that did me wrong all those 5 years ago treated me badly, but you know what, I'm going to act like her now because that made me feel better? All of these influences that are telling us what we should and shouldn't be are conditioning us throughout our life. And so when you're speaking about particularly the body and our, reflection of ourselves and what we think about ourselves, we've really been told. I mean, growing up, I thought Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears were the coolest things. No hips, just straight skinny bodies.
Exactly.
So I felt so out of place because I've got a body, I've got hips, I'm curvy. Okay, this is not acceptable. What did girls do? They tried to become that. Time came and went, and the Kardashians came in. Now Curve was in. So all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I can really own my body now. This is my time to shine.
Right.
And now Ozempic comes through, and now everyone's skinny, but now has these BBLs. I just can't keep up. So what's happening now is that we are constantly told to keep up with this norm. What none of us do as women is stop and reflect and think about the impressions and the conditioning that we've gone through and how to undo it. And truly, the way I undid it and broke down through all those layers to figure out my voice was just isolation. I isolated myself from every little influence around me, and I realized the true voice, what I truly believe, what I truly feel, who I want to be, and how I want to move forward. And I truly recommend it to everybody.
When did that happen to you? Because it's crazy, because you are the one who is literally in front of the camera every day, right?
Yeah.
And you are probably being, judged all the time.
Yeah.
How are you able to say, this is who I am? I'm not gonna judge myself. Of course, sometimes we feel like not our best and whatever, it's normal, but how are you able to, change that for yourself?
I think it's a lot of the inner voice and the inner critic that a lot of us have. That inner critic that's always telling us, you're not good enough, you can't do it, you don't look good, oh, don't wear that color doesn't look good on you. I had to shift that inner voice. And so it was stopping myself in my tracks all the time. So when I would look in the mirror and I wouldn't like the way I look, instead of being like, oh my God, you look so big. Oh my God, you don't look nice. Oh, your skin is so bad. I would just switch the language, but I would have to stop myself in that moment.
How do you do that? That's so hard.
One technique that really worked for me, we're talking about someone who needs a bit of self-awareness as to how you're speaking to yourself first. But I used to have a hair tie around my wrist, and every time I would say something like negative to myself, I would like pop the hairband onto my wrist, and it physically made me react, right? Because it would physically shake you out of that moment. But what we tend to do normally is say it to ourselves, sit there with it, and then we repeat that thing to ourselves over and over again. And we know with repetition, what repetition does is it just embeds within you. And so you have to snap. Well, I don't know what that is, but it could be a different technique for different people. It could be saying out loud, stop.
Right.
Stop talking to yourself like that.
Right.
And changing that language to, I don't feel my best today, but it's okay. It's not even about looks. You don't say I don't look my best. I just don't feel my best today.
That part.
Right? So that self-talk that we need to switch, and it's kind of the 1% theory. We're not asking for big steps every single day.
Can you tell me about, sorry for interrupting you, but the 1% theory that you talk about, what is that all about?
Right. So I think that a lot of the time we think confidence comes in these big leaps and these big steps that we take. But it doesn't. It comes in 1% every day. The 1% theory, truly, if you embed that in your mind, it changes the game for your confidence, because you're doing tiny things. Saying I'm going to go to the gym at 3:00 today you're going to go to the gym at 3 o'clock. These tiny actions, what that does is it kind of builds into your confidence bank every single day. And I want you to quite literally think of it as a confidence bank. And you're putting in 1% every day. Imagine when a year goes by, how much you're actually contributing to that confidence bank. And when you stop to reflect, like, wow, I did what I said I was going to do. And I think that's the difference. A lot of us promise ourselves a lot of things.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to go on that healthy thing that I wanted to go on tomorrow. I'm going to start going to the gym, or I'm going to start working on my side hustle tomorrow.
Right.
And then we don't do it. And then we keep pushing it back and back and back.
Right.
That's taking away from our confidence bank. We're not doing anything to contribute to it. So that 1% every single day is, in theory, the big steps that you're taking.
Damn, that is so good.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to, you didn't have a job back in the UK.
Yeah.
And then you get this opportunity to come to Dubai. Do you think, did anything happen with you and your mindset or your manifestation or anything where, that's a reason why you also got that job in the Middle East? Like, because if I would look at myself and I would be in your situation, right? Sometimes I'm very like tough mentally, but most of the times, not really.
Yeah.
But if I would be in that situation, I would think like, man, it's years and I still didn't break through. And you know what? It's like, let me do something else, because that's another thing that we do a lot as well. It's like, oh, it's not working out, so let me change and let me quit and let me start something else. And so what happened in that moment? And where were you with your mindsets before you got that call?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did waver and I went and did loads of other jobs. I went into PR because I thought, you know what, maybe this presenter thing isn't working out for you. So I did that for a couple of years. What it was like this anchor pull, from your gut and your gut instinct. It just kept telling me, no, you're meant to do this. You need to keep trying any opportunity. So even when I was doing full-time jobs that were totally unrelated to what I wanted to be, I was still looking. I was still looking for any opportunity here or there. Over my weekends, I started on YouTube. I still kept trying to keep it alive in some way or another because my gut just wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me let it go. And so the way the UAE opportunity came around was just I was looking online and it said they're looking for a presenter in the UAE for a radio host. And I thought, I'm going to try my luck. My dad had suggested I go into radio because TV obviously wasn't working. And so I joined my local radio station and it goes out to like a couple of thousand of people, not a big deal at all. But that was the first time I was in the radio studio trying things out. And I just want to let everyone know that a radio studio looks like a spaceship, right? It looks like so many buttons. We use like 2 buttons. It's really not that complicated. But in my head, I thought, oh my God, this is so fancy. And I got in there and I loved it. And I was like, okay, this is a lot harder. Radio is so much harder than TV. You've just got your voice.
Oh, you have to say,
right? Like people can't see you. So when I'm excited, you can't see my voice that I'm excited. You can't see my face that I'm excited. All you can hear is my voice. So radio helped me carve out how to actually use my voice in a really powerful way. I didn't have body language. I didn't have presence. I just had my voice, and your voice is an instrument, and to be able to use it is really, really powerful. So that's what I learned through radio. And then I sent this demo through to Radio 1, and next thing I know, they're like, we'd love you to host our breakfast show. And I thought, wow, I'm going from hosting a radio show to a couple of thousand people in my local town in Watford to a nation, to a whole country now.
That's
and
crazy.
I took the step, and I was 25 years old, and I just did it. I just took the leap, and I was like to my parents, I need to do this. And they supported me 100%. And it's just that belief, it's that gut instinct that I'm destined. You know, when you know you're destined for greatness, in whatever capacity that is for you, nothing can stop you.
But I know some people as well that I look at them and I'm like, man, why you're stopping? Like I know, just keep going. I know it's going to happen. But then they quit. But they also tell me, like, I had that voice as well where they're like, keep going, don't give up. But then they still gave up.
Yeah.
Why do you think that happened with them? Like, what do you think the difference between them and you is?
You know what? I genuinely believe that I wouldn't be where I was today if it wasn't for the support circle that I had. you know, for the people around you. It's one thing we spoke about your inner voice and how you speak to yourself, but the people around you, if they're not speaking the same to you, it's very different. If they're the ones putting seeds of doubt in your mind or telling you, don't you think it's about time you got a real job? Don't you think people your age have got an income now? You should probably get an income.
Right.
All of my friends had city jobs, earning so well in London. And there I was, kind of like unemployed, still going on every night out, but still living with my parents. You know, it's that mindset of like knowing that you've got the right people around you. There's one thing, look, you can't choose your family. Your parents and my sibling were amazing, but it was my friends. So the friends around me that were telling me, I love what you do, keep going. You spoke about earlier, you know, how I spoke on that video about support your friends loudly. It's so important. Never ever take it for granted, because if you've got a friend that is literally breathing life into you, that is someone to keep around. If they are giving you that hope and that light at the end of the tunnel when you think it is fading, they're there to stay. But then there are also people on the other hand who are like, yeah, cool, I saw that YouTube video that you uploaded. You know, I was getting like prank calls from people being like, oh, who do you think you are uploading videos on YouTube? Do you think you're a celebrity? And I had to, it's just reality. We have so many people out there that are willing to tear us down, but it's the same people who message me now and say, I knew you were going to make it.
That.
Right?
But then, you know, I'm such a spiritual person. And then I look at them and I'm like, you know, I'll forgive you. But why do you think that when I get these phone calls where like, I always knew you're going to make it, I'm like, girl, I haven't talked to you in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I'm doing great too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is, that a lot of people don't like to support others? Especially if they know their story so well, but they're still not supporting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of people who support me and are there for me and push me. One of them, I have to say, is my mother. I remember when I was living in LA and I had such a hard time, I called her and she said to me, if you think that you can come back, think again. You are never coming back until you made it.
Yeah.
Hangs up the phone. I was like, oh my God. But now looking back, I'm like, damn, I'm happy that happened, because it pushed me to go. So why do you think that is, that people have so many haters?
Yeah, you know what it is? I think that when you are doing something out of the norm, I think people find it really difficult. They put you in a box. People have put you in a box in their mind, and they have labeled that box with what they believe that you are and the place that you have in their life. The second you step out of that box and you're trying to do something and do something different, it scares them. It's kind of like, it scares them because people love comfortability. They like their comfort zone. Anything beyond that, it's like the alarms go off in their head. They don't know what to make of it. You are no longer that label that they put on you, and therefore they panic and they see it as kind of like a disease, you know, like poison coming in. That's how they see it. And so what do you do when you feel like you're threatened or being attacked? Is you try and fight back, and people try and, you know, suppress that. And they try to suppress that side of you, because also potentially there's some people out there who wish they were doing what you were doing, who wish they had the bravery and the courage to step outside the box like you did.
Right.
But they don't. And so in order to normalize it and kind of humble you or bring you down to where they are in their level, they'll try everything that they can.
Whew. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was like...
Yeah. It's sad.
Damn.
It's really sad. And you know, now I do feel sorry for people who do that. I feel sorry for them, because if you're not in a place where you can truly celebrate someone and in whatever they're doing, there has to be some deep sadness in you. There has to be.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
Your natural instinct should be to be happy for someone.
Okay, let me put you on to my new little obsession, Thai cocoa. Honestly, it's more than just coconut water. It feels like self-care in a bottle. It's 100% natural, super hydrating, and packed with electrolytes. So whether I've just finished a workout, had a long day, or simply wanted something refreshing, it's my go-to. And the best part, it tastes amazing. Like cracking open a fresh coconut on the beach. With Thai cocoa, I'm fueling my body and giving it something it actually loves. So you come to Dubai, and it's a new world. It's a new environment, right? How were you able to become, knock on wood, this successful? What did it take? Because I know as an entrepreneur myself, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a lot of struggle, especially someone who is good looking, smart like you are. How did you become this successful?
I wish I had like an ABC answer for you. Like, okay, girls, do this, and you'll be exactly where I am today. It's been really hard. It's been really hard. The reality is that what you see, I still don't think is the finished product. I'm ever evolving. I'm still striving. The dreams and the goalposts keep changing. But I would say where I've got to today is my strong faith in that I'm doing exactly what I should be doing. And I also just think faith in general, faith in a higher being or the universe or in God and whatever God means to you has genuinely kept me centered and anchored. Because how can you waver if that's your anchor? If you have that faith and that belief, how can anything get in your way? And it's been really hard. Look, I switched into entrepreneurship 2 years ago.
Right.
I'm an early stage entrepreneur. It's hard, and business runs in my family. So from my great grandfather, they've always been entrepreneurs and businessmen. And it's now I'm the fourth, fifth generation where I always knew that was always going to be my destiny and that was always going to be the route. It was actually no doubt in my mind. And I also think it's diversifying.
Right.
I also think it's not putting yourself into one thing.
Yes.
It's being multiple things. We're allowed to be multiple things.
Right.
My very good friend Jay Shetty said this to me because I was panicking and I was, like, oh, but I'm a TV and radio host, but how can I now become a confidence mentor and a coach? Because people will get confused. And he goes, Nimi, you can be more than one thing. Don't feel like you have to be one thing. He was like, I've got a friend who's a supermodel, but also an activist. She can be both.
Right.
And we always get scared that in order for people to understand us or to see us, we need to be one thing for them to understand.
Exactly.
And I realized I'm more than one thing. I'm like a rainbow of things.
Oh, I love that.
And it's owning that. And I think that I just haven't been scared to try new things. And I genuinely think that that's how I've got to where I've got to. And the last thing I would definitely say is relationships.
Tell me about that.
It is so important. Every relationship from the day I started in this industry and moved to this country to where I'm at now 8 years later, I still have those deep connections that have always helped me, always supported me, never burned bridges, always just respected people and appreciated them and been grateful for every single thing.
Wow.
I love this story because before I even moved to the UAE, I did a summer internship for a production company here. And I was the runner. I was running around and they had TV hosts working at Dubai International Film Festival. And I was the runner on the red carpet, getting them tissues, water, taking photos of them. And I just felt like, wow, this is so cool. I want to be this one day. And years later, I'd moved to Dubai. I'd still kept in touch with the lady who runs that company. And she reaches out when I'm in the radio and she's like, hey, listen, I'm starting this TV show with Dubai One TV and I really want you to be a host of it. I've seen how hard you've been working. I knew you from when you were a runner and now look at what you're doing. So I went from being that to now being on the same show with people I used to run for. The same presenters. My God,
that is so awesome.
The same presenters that I was running around for are now my co-hosts. And that level up, that could only happen because of a relationship that I felt was really sacred. And I gave them everything. You never know when somebody is speaking about you in rooms that you're not even in.
That is so true.
So bear that in mind. Like never just cut people off or use people or try to, get up the chain. Really be grateful and appreciate every single person you come across in the industry.
Okay, so this is something that I probably have to learn from you. Because you were talking about burning bridges.
Yeah.
Right. I was the queen of burning.
Yeah.
Because I was such a, loud person.
Yeah.
And I know you said in one of the interviews, which I just started to understand like maybe 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
You said there's a quiet confidence and a loud. Sorry if I said it wrong, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
you're right.
loud and the quiet confidence. I thought the same growing up. The more you're loud, the louder you are, the more people will respect you, and the more confidence is how that you show it that way.
Yeah.
Then I started to understand, like, wait a second, the quieter you are, and you're able to control your emotions, is when you are the most powerful.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in a very loud, family.
Yeah.
So of course I took that with me growing up. But my thing is, and I'm just talking to you, I can tell like you're a very genuine person and a real one. I know a lot of people, because I'm coming from Hollywood, so I've been around actors and all of celebrities and whatever for so many years.
Yeah.
They have that, how can I say that, like, like that fakeness sometimes in them. Not everyone, but a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm someone like, when you sit in front of me, I will match your energy real quick. So if you come at me and you're a certain way, I'll be right back at you, and I will be 1,000 times meaner.
Yeah.
How can I be the quieter one, respected, and and not burn bridges, but not being fake as
Yeah.
well? Like, how can I sit with someone at a table that I don't vibe with? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, we have so many people in our lives that we even have to be connected to, whether we like it or not, because of circumstances. I would say that the way I see it is how much of myself I'm willing to give to someone, right? So when you look at it like that, there are certain people that you're willing to give 100% of you to. You get to see my flaws and all. You get to see the good side of me, the bad side of me, all of it, right? Those are the people that you trust the most, that you're the most connected to, that you know have genuine interests in you and you being the best you can be, right? Then there's the people that you just mentioned. Then there's people that you're not so sure about, you don't trust 100%, you don't want to burn bridges with, but you want to keep at a healthy distance.
Right.
And that healthy distance comes with, I kind of measure it by percentage sometimes, how much I'm willing to give that person. So I'm willing to give them 10% of me.
I love that.
What does 10% of me look like? That looks like being really courteous, being respectful, because that's how I've been raised.
Yes.
But also, you're not going to get more than that. You're not going to get, oh my gosh, you'll never guess what. You're going to get boundaries. You won't know you're getting boundaries though, because I am so lovely and kind and humble. Right. I'm not going to act like I'm better than you in any way, because how can I say I am? But I'm going to do it with absolute grace, and I'll be kind always. You know, they say kill them with kindness. I still believe that. But then I think there's a layer which they didn't tell you about, which is, but then when you get screwed over for being so kind, what are you going to do about it then?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the hard part.
That's the hardest.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Yeah, I feel like I'm learning. I'm still learning every single time of, really leading with the kindness. But now I need to lead with a bit more assertiveness.
Right.
Kindness can still be assertive. And I think as women in particular, we feel like we have to be super nice all the time or super kind all the time. Naturally as women, we are nurturers and we're meant to be, looking after everyone around us. At the same time, I have needs. Right. I need things done, especially as an entrepreneur. When you have a team, you're trying to build a team with grace and kindness and gratitude. But at the same time, we're still to, we got shit to do. We got shit to achieve, right? So finding that kind of balance. So I'm like, I'm going to continue to be kind. I've been broken so many times where I've been like, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to be a right bitch. But the truth is that isn't natural to me. That's not how I navigate. Like I said earlier, if I try to be that, I won't be able to maintain that for long.
You see, that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of women said that, and they're still saying that. They're like, a lot of women, we compare ourselves with a lot of men, right? Yeah. I don't really do that. To me, it's like, I was always like that. I was like, okay, I'm a tough person. Like, I am tough. Like, I no, you don't want to see the other side of me. But I will make it really quick from the beginning. Like, look, I have the most nicest, amazing side of myself,
Yeah.
but I also have the other side. You choose what you want.
Yeah.
I never had a problem if when I come into the room and I'm bossy for someone to say, oh, she's a bitch, she's this, she's that. I don't care. I'm who I am.
Yeah.
You want to compare me? I don't care. I don't care if a man comes in and he's like me and he's a cool one. To me, I'm cool. As long as we're getting the job done, I'm not sitting here to be your best friend or whatever.
Yeah.
You need to eat. Your family needs to eat. I need to eat, and my team as well, right?
Yeah.
So I was always cool with that, but now, getting older and now becoming a mom, I'm like, yeah, maybe I need to be a little bit quieter, a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like you said, you're always involving, always getting or trying to get better. And I reached a point where I can look at myself and say, you know what, you're not perfect, but you are good where you are right now.
Yeah.
With all the shit that you had to go through as a kid and as a person, and now being able to sit here and be around people like you and my team, it's like, man, you did something good, right? What is a confidence coach? Talk to me about that.
Yeah.
And why that?
Yeah. I realized that the core of me really and my story really took me from A to Z because of self-belief and confidence. And it's been something that I still battle with. We all battle with every single day. And I just felt that women in particular needed it because we're so surrounded by women always doubting themselves, always second guessing themselves. And although we don't like to go into the conversation of men versus women, the truth is that men are more likely to put themselves forward for a job, even though they're not qualified. Men are more likely to walk into a room and talk like they know what they're talking about, even though they don't. Yet women doubt themselves the most. And so I had that journey and I doubted myself so much. I was in so much insecurity and I came out of it that I just thought, confidence is it. This isn't, also, by the way, confidence isn't something tangible. It's not something that I can even just hand over to you in a cup. This is something that we build together. And my life is proof that it's possible to overcome the insecurity and nail the self-belief and the confidence. And I want to preface this to everyone listening in saying that just because someone's confident doesn't mean that they don't have moments of insecurity and fear. Confidence doesn't take away the fear. And this is a major misconception because you think that the most confident person in the world doesn't ever think bad of themselves, doesn't ever doubt themselves. No. The difference between, say, someone who's at the beginning of their journey and someone like me is that I have the tools and techniques in place to overcome the doubt quicker. So confidence really is doubt management. And if you put it in that way, and if you think about it that way, confidence is just being able to overcome the doubt so much quicker every single day by doing the 1% every single day, by showing up for yourself and putting yourself first. And I think that when I wrapped my head around that, I thought every woman needs to know this, but in a real capacity. I'm not trying to sell you this shiny thing and promise you that in 4 weeks, I'm going to help you become the most confident person in the world. Anyone who tells you that is lying to you, so don't buy anything from them. But it's that I really want to help instill something that will last you a lifetime, not just for 5 minutes.
That right there, it's so funny, right, Dia? We had that talk, and I think yesterday or so. I said that, I'd rather, pay you to help me to reach that.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'm not just saying that when we listen to your videos and, on Instagram and when you give interviews and all that, it's like you talk the real shit. And that's what I love about what you just said now. It's like, listen, I can help you, but I'm not going to promise you it's going to take 4 weeks and you're going to get there.
Yeah.
I always say when someone asks me what do you want the podcast to be about? I always say, I don't want you to sell me the dream, sell me the reality.
Yes.
Because that's the hardest. We all can dream, right? Yeah. But if I sit in front of you and I tell you, this is how the reality looks like, let me make that decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me say, I'm in, let's go.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So why do you think that, and it's so crazy too, I work with a lot of models and influencers, and a lot of them are the most insecure women I've met. And I look at them, I'm like, man, like you guys are so beautiful. Like everything about you is beautiful. And of course, I see the beauty outside. I don't know what's inside. But then you talk to them and they're so insecure. They have no confidence. Why do you think that is? And how can you help? Because I have a lot of followers who are models and suffer from that. How can we help women like that?
Yeah. I think it goes back to tying your self-worth to something tangible, which is your body, which is your job title, which is the amount of money in your bank account. And a lot of us do that because that's just how we've been taught is how we're going to be worthy as women, right?
Right.
And I think that that's shifting that mindset away from that. So it's actually saying to yourself, regardless of how I look, regardless of the job title that I have, regardless of the amount of money in my bank, I'm still worthy. It is that. It is that regardless of everything materialistic and beyond, I'm still worthy. And knowing that, and that stems from so many things. That is that self-talk. That is the people around you also. Listen, I also don't like people who keep talking about, and these coaches that talk about, oh, it's all about you and the work that you do, right? That's the self-development and the self-work. It's also the people around you. We touched on this earlier. If you don't have the right people around you, you need them. Look, as humans, we are wired to be part of a tribe and a community. When we were cavemen and women, quite literally our tribe was survival or death. Right now we're evolved beings, but it still matters. We still use the term tribe for a reason, right?
I did a solo episode the other day, and it was about exactly what you're just saying. And I said to the audiences too, I was like, listen, I know we all want to be a part of a tribe. But in order for you, I can join any tribe, but that tribe might not make you happy because you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You need to figure out who you are first before you attach yourself to any tribe.
Yeah.
Because then you understand, like, you know what? I used to be in that tribe, but, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I was able to understand who I am. Now I can go to that tribe.
Yeah. And also figuring out who you are feels like a really big leap. And how do I do that? And I would just say, like, figure out your core values. What are your core values? Like, what are your non-negotiables when it comes to who you are as a person and the people that you want around you? What are your non-negotiables? For me, it is kindness and gratitude. If you are not filled with gratitude within you and your heart and your energy, I just can't connect with you in that way. If you're not grateful for every single thing around you, and if I don't hear it in your language, if I don't feel it in your energy, I can't connect. And so for other people, it might be something different. If you're not centered in faith, it might be really difficult for people to connect with you. Whatever your core value is, your non-negotiable, figure that out first. That is going to be your compass for how you navigate towards figuring out who your tribe is. And listen, when you're in a tribe, you're still going to have a lot of self-discovery, and you're going to change. And I'm changing every day at this rate. It's scary. Who I was today is not who I was yesterday, okay? But I would just say, figure out those core values, and keep thinking in your mind, these are the non-negotiables. And if anyone crosses that, it's an out for me.
So what's the difference between, like, confident and, like, selfish?
Yeah. Like I guess with the confidence and the selfishness, because I think that when I say put yourself first, people will say, how can I put myself first? I'm a wife, or I'm a mom, or I'm a friend, I'm a sister. How can you give other people your 100% if you're not even giving yourself 100%?
Oof.
You're literally pouring from an empty cup. So you can't, if they are your priority, if your children are your priority, if your partner's your priority, amazing, I love that for you. But you can't give them your best if you're not feeling your best. And the only way you can feel your best is if you pour into yourself and show up for yourself every single day. It's a battle I still have with my mom every single day. Oh my God, I'm this, I'm that, I'm stressed. Oh my God, da da da. I'm like, Mom, you don't make time for yourself in your day. Even 5 minutes I ask you for, just for yourself. You're not doing it. You can't help me if I need you to help yourself. So it's that, I don't think confidence is selfish. Confidence is not selfish. If anything, it's the most selfless thing that you can do, because the second you start showing up for yourself and believing in yourself day in, day out, you can only pour that into other people that you love.
You know what, one of my favorite words the last few years is no.
Yeah.
I love saying no. Like I reached a point where my age, like I just turned 39
now,
and next year I'm gonna be 40, and I am so excited. I think it's also because of age.
Yeah.
But I'm like, do you want to go out? No. Do you want to do this? No.
Yeah.
I don't even feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel so good being at home with my pajamas and my cat and my husband. I'm good. You do whatever you want to do, boo-boo. I'm not gonna get out. I want to talk to you about your entrepreneurial journey. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you start it? And tell me about SPKR.
Yeah.
And what does it stand for, and what is it exactly?
Yeah. Well, I started because I think ownership is so important. A lot of us are in jobs and positions where we don't feel valued by the people that we're working for. And I felt that. I felt really undervalued. I didn't feel seen, heard, or understood. And I thought, why am I still trying to chase another job or another role for other people to see me, when really I can just go ahead, do it myself, and see myself? And that's literally the switch. That's when I just thought, you know what, now's the time. You're never ready. People say like, oh, save up until a certain X amount, and then when you've hit that amount, that's when you can go into like running your own business, and then you'll keep that going for 6 months, and if it doesn't work out. There was no such plan in my mind. I was literally like, I am ripping the Band-Aid off now. I am done with feeling undervalued and feeling like I'm like just not hitting my potential. Some people like to stay in that comfort zone. I get it. But entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. And you're right, everyone's romanticized it. Right. We see stuff on social media like, oh, come have a day with me. And we see their day and it looks so clean and so perfect.
Coffee shop and like all elegant. I'm like,
that's just not the reality of entrepreneurship. So I took that leap. Ownership was just so important to me. Owning something that I've created and building it the way I intend, and a team that truly believes in the purpose was really important to me. And then Speaker came about because I was just done with, keeping.
Oh, that's what it's.
Yeah.
Speaker.
I get it.
Duh.
No. Some people say SPKR as well. It's fine. I get it. I just took
that
out the
is
vowels
so
to be
cool,
cool.
Actually.
Yeah. I took out the vowels to like just be cool.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, the skin. Yeah.
Right. So Speaker, just came about because I just didn't want to gatekeep. A lot of us gatekeep.
Ooh, that.
Right? The things that we've learned through life is like, we got to keep it to ourselves so nobody else can do it. Because, oh my God, if they come along, they're going to take from my bag.
And if they're successful before you, then I will never be successful, and all that BS.
Yeah. And I think that I just didn't want to gatekeep. I said, this is what I've learned, and now I want to help women do exactly the same. And It's not taking from me. If anything, it's adding to me. So Speaker's just done amazing over the last 2 years, way better than I thought it would. My grandfather always told me, he goes, if you start a business, give it 5 years before you even start breaking even or making money from it. And so to his standards, actually, I'm okay. I'm like, wow, it's only been 2 years. I'm doing pretty well.
Amazing.
But I just love it. I love it. And I just feel like it's growing. It keeps growing. And it's just so needed. It's a necessity that we all just really, really crave and need, especially for women. So, yeah.
So tell me more about, your company. Like, what is it exactly, and how can people be a part of it? Like,
yeah, so there's a bunch of things. So there's online courses.
Right.
That are kind of like the 3 C's masterclass, character, confidence, and communication. I explore all those things on an online course that women can, it's kind of like help and take yourself through it at your own pace. Then there's online programs that I do, which is like 2 to 3 times a year. I do a 7-week program for 20 women only, where I'm group coaching them, live weekly calls every week. And we're taking them from A to Z, from not just their confidence, but how they show up on social media, how they weave in their personal brand and take it to the next level. And then I also just have digital products on speaker, which is like e-products, e-books that really just do the work for you at home, that you start building your personal brand or start building your social media, your confidence in front of the camera. How do you do all of that? And then I do one-to-one mentorship as well. So I take on a certain number of clients a month, where I just take them through the motions, no matter, from across all industries, from tech to fashion to beauty. Wow. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're still just that human in front of you, and we're trying to level up. I do corporate workshops as well for multiple global brands, from like MasterCard to ADNOC. I go in and I help and manage their teams to just upskill them when it comes to their confidence and their communication. Because no matter what you do, it's at the core of everything.
So what do you think is the most that women tend to change, like with all the courses that you have, like which one is
like the biggest impact,
the biggest impact, or the ones that most women are attracted to? Is it like the confidence? Is it the, like, which course is it?
I would say that a lot of women, so I have a program called Speak to Succeed, and that is the 20 women only group coaching for 7 weeks. They've been so attracted to that because it's the full A to Z. Because it's the, let's build that foundation of your confidence and what you mean and what you're trying to be out there. Then we start building that in relevance to what they're trying to create online, on social media, which is such a huge part of their personal brand or their business. And then we take a full circle moment where I actually help them to get speaking gigs. So they want to also now become speakers that are on podcasts, that are, on stages giving keynotes. And I teach them how to do that, because that's exactly what I did.
Oh, I love that.
People didn't come along to me and like just beg me to be on their stages. I had to pitch myself over and over again to be like, hey, I do this. Hey, can you have me on your event? And that's how I started getting my first gigs. So I'm like, that's the reality. The reality isn't that it's just going to come and fall on your feet. It's that you've got to hustle and work to get it as well. And I've got the key and the techniques and the decks and the email drafts and everything to help you do it.
Oh, that is so powerful.
Yeah.
When I started my beauty brand, I started recording my whole journey.
Wow.
So from the first prototype to getting into Macy's and getting into Urban Outfitters and all these places, from me sitting in front of the camera, I mean, that's the weirdest shit ever, when you have to like put up the camera and then you cry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you want to capture that, but it's like you're literally crying.
Yeah.
And I showed like where all these buyers said no to me, where we lost all of our money, where we got it back, and where it affected me and my husband. I wanted to record this to one day be able to show the raw sides of hustling and entrepreneurship, because especially now, and I want to ask you that about your industry. For example, my industry, there's a lot of women who, it's so easy to fake a lifestyle nowadays, right? You can rent a house, you can rent a car, you can rent the clothing, like you can rent the bag, and then just pretend like, I'm this big shot, and I'm this entrepreneur, and I'm driving the Ferrari, and giving all this like garbage advice. Yeah. Where you look at them, you're like, there's certain ones, they're like, I'm a Bitcoin millionaire. And I don't know if you're really a millionaire. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Show me your bank account. Of course you're not going to show it to me, but I don't know. Yeah. But then they sell you if you want to be like me, like, this is the course that you need to buy, and this is how you need to show up, and this is how and you, like you said, it's always you. Yeah. And I'm like, that is so BS. Yeah. Because if you would sit in front of me right now and I would speak to you in my entrepreneur language, because I always say that entrepreneurs have their own language. Yeah. And every entrepreneur, when we speak to another entrepreneur, it's like, oh, you're a real one.
Yeah.
I don't mean like the fact that you're a millionaire or not,
Yeah.
but you're living that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So it bothers me so much when I see all these entrepreneurs, giving all this advice where you can tell like you just chat GBT'd something,
Yeah.
you put it in front of you and now you're reading it.
Yeah.
How is that? Because I know in the coaching world, and I talked to one of my friends, I don't know if you know Mace. You don't know her? She's also a life coach, and I talked to her about that as well. I was like, how is that for you? Because there's a lot of life coaches. There's a lot of coaches that you listen to it and you're like, huh?
Yeah.
So how is that for you?
I feel like if it feels and looks too good to be true, it is. It literally is.
Yes.
And unfortunately, and I feel so bad because so many people get duped into it. They see these fancy videos and they see women in fancy clothes and fancy cars in the hottest places in Dubai. And what they're selling is their lifestyle. But if they're selling their lifestyle really, really hard, I could probably bet everything I own on it that they won't be able to teach you that.
Exactly.
You can't teach that. That isn't something that you can coach.
Yes.
But when they're not doing too much, when I see content that isn't trying too hard, I believe it a bit more.
Right.
And I think
Right.
that this is where we're in an era now, unfortunately, where I'm battling with my algorithm because it's filled with so many people who are selling this dream mixed with just people who are switching a camera on and just talking real. And that's where I angle towards. So as a consumer, you've just got to decide which you prefer.
Right.
And if you're willing to put your money behind something, I would say put it behind something that has proven in front of you that they have actually taken it from A to Z.
Like, for example, when I did my solo episode the other day, I said, for example, someone that I would pay and really listen to is someone like Huda Beauty, for example, Huda Katan.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to speak. You walk into any Sephora and she's right there.
Yeah.
That is your proof that she made it.
Yeah.
Period. She's not selling anything else besides her makeup. But like you said, like there's so many people that I'm like, why?
Yeah.
My other question to you is like, how did entrepreneurship change you? Because it is a different ball game. Like it's like when you go and present, yes, you still have to email everyone and your team has to reach out. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But then entrepreneurship is like something where he knocks you down. Like if you're not strong enough, like how did it change you?
Oh my gosh. It just completely shifted my whole mindset onto perspective because it's so much bigger than me. What I'm doing is so much bigger than me as an individual.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
Right? Because if you're doing something that you truly love and you're trying to impact the world in a way that never existed, it's so much bigger than me. So the way that every day I wake up, even though I'm not feeling my best or, oh my gosh, I feel really I can't put my 100% into it today, whatever I can put into it, even 10% I'm willing to put in because of the bigger picture. And that's how it's changed me, is that I could get up and go to a TV show and go to a radio show and put it on and fake it, right? And I could go home then afterwards, close the door and be done with it. But as we all know with entrepreneurship, there is no closing the door. There is no going home and clocking off. It is 24/7. There is no such thing as a Monday to Friday for me. Saturday and Sunday is exactly the same. There's no such thing as a weekend, right? Yeah. And I'm happy with that. I'm not talking about, hustle mentality. You've always got to be working, more work than sleep. No, that's not what I'm saying. I still get really good sleep. But what I'm saying is that it's just completely shifted when we're talking about ownership, something bigger than you. When we're talking about legacy mode, something bigger than you. When we're talking about impact and purpose, it's so much bigger than you. So it really has stripped the ego away from me, because it's not really about me. Although my name is to it and I'm the one helping people, it's not about me. It's so much bigger.
I have, I don't know if I can say it or not. We can cut it out if you want. But, Dia, she, her dream is to one day have.
Oh, amazing.
And I know she will get there. And then we had a conversation the other day where I said to her, we were talking about, the entrepreneurship and her dream and all that stuff. And she said that she wrote the concept. And what I love, she's not telling anyone about the concept, not even me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying so hard, but I will get it. But she doesn't want to talk about it, which I respect, and I think it's a good thing. And then I challenged her. I said, go work on the weekends.
Yeah.
Not because of the money, but for the money, but also you will be working 7 days.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that, not being able to see your family, friends, boyfriend, or whatever, and it's all about working, and you can really, really be okay with that, then you got it.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what entrepreneurship is. It's like there's no day off.
No.
And it's so funny. I was just talking to Gabby, who's the founder of Intellect. And I asked her, I said, okay, so one thing that I'm, afraid of is like giving birth. And then how long did it take you to come back to work?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm just like you, like it took me 10 days and I was back to work,
Yeah.
So your mind never sleeps as an entrepreneur.
It never switches off. It never does. And I think you've really got to have an appetite for it. You've just got to have that appetite for it.
Thank you.
And look, some people are really happy in a 9 to 5, and I love that for them, because they love to just come home and switch off, and that's great.
Yes.
But if you're someone who yearns for more and wants more than that, I think the advice that you gave is a great test, because if you're willing to work all those days, if you're willing to put in the hours, if you're willing to sacrifice all these things that matter to you, then the life is for you.
So would you say what you're doing with like being on TV, presenter, or the entrepreneurship, which one do you prefer more?
Oh my God, entrepreneurship.
Ooh,
All day, every day.
nice.
TV and look, the way the industry works in media and TV and radio is it's a short lifespan, unless you're the best of the best. Unless, and I genuinely do feel like I am one of the best presenters in the region, and God willing, I'll still be working till 50, 60, 70 years old. But if not, it's okay, because I've got my business. I haven't put all my fingers in one pie where that is my whole life and I depend on it. And I put that control in someone else's life.
Right.
So I prefer entrepreneurship over it any day, because I think it's been my vessel to get me to where I am today, but doesn't necessarily have to be my machine that keeps me running for the rest of my life.
Oh. Nimi, I can really talk to you for
same.
hours.
Same.
I was like, all the time. I was like, oh my God, I can literally talk to you for so many hours. I knew that you're going to be incredible, but you're just sitting here and giving me the time to ask you all the question, and you just went from, I don't know, like to 1,000,000% of like,
I love you. Thank you.
you have a big fan sitting in front of you, like truly, like
so
I
kind. Thank
appreciate your time. I appreciate everything that you're doing, helping to change women's life. It's so freaking important.
Yeah.
Can you tell the audience how they can find you, how they can get in touch with you? Because I know a lot of women are going to see this, be like, you know what, she's the right person. I need to get in touch with
You're
her.
so sweet. So you can find me on Instagram, the Nimi Mehta, and everything else. Where else can you find me? Speaker by Nimi Mehta, SPKR by NimiMehta.com, and all information is there. If you want to get in touch, just let me know.
That's amazing. You guys, I just want to say thank you to Intellect, and also want to say thank you to Gabby and her team for hosting us today. It's one of my favorite spots. You guys know this. And I also want to say thank you to our sponsor, Thai Cocoa. I've been drinking that.
It's really good, by the way.
Right?
It's really good.
It's like
and I love coconut water. I've never tried this.
This is, you know what? I found them, me and the team, and then we were the ones who were like, listen, you need to sponsor me. Like this, it's so good.
It's so good.
I freaking love them. I love the team behind Thai Cocoa as well. So I just want to say thank you so much to you guys. And again, thank you.
Thank
and
you.
I know for a fact I will have you back really soon.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yay.
Hey.
Guys. No, really, it could be hours.
Right?
Yeah.